Hi, hello, welcome to the Spiritual Consularship, brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Ablossi. I will be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for an open reading by Venus, that could also be known as Chamba-Oshun, sometimes Hathor, or Freya, Frigading, depending on the technology you access, the divine, whatever spiritual technology you have. If you are new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. You belong, so welcome home. Today, we will be imposing the guidance from Thoth Tarot by Aleister Crowley. Now, that's illustrated by Lady Frida Harris, and it's published right now through US Game System. Excuse me. The sun is out, but I'm chilly. Okay, so we have a little bit of the energy already, and there's a little bit of housekeeping to discuss as well. So if anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. Actually, smash that like button right now if you can. There's a little bit of a change. Firstly, we're putting the summary to the videos or the audio, depending on where you're catching whatever platform you're on, in the about section. Sometimes it's the show notes or the description box. And that's just for right now. It'll change to an outline, okay? Kind of like a micro transcript. And then there'll be a link to the temple website later on. So it's just like a temporary transition. In addition, the spiritual consularship is not really sermons anymore. It's actually an ingressional report for any type of personal planet. So the sun, Venus, anything this side of Saturn. So Jupiter, basically the personal planets. So that'll be what this is. Sermons still come out. The spiritual consulship still it gives sermons. There's a lot of kind of explanation there, but I'm already getting a message, so let's get in here. Again, my name is Serene Priestess Ablossi. I'll be your oracle today. It's a delight and an honor and privilege to serve you. We're just going to say a quick opening prayer before we begin. It'll also serve as the closing prayer. So when I do our salutations, that'll be it. Great Spirit, we ask that all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love, and universal oneness. Honoponopono, we love you. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered, our path be illuminated, and that we find salvation and redemption in this life. May we be happy. May we be whole. May we be at peace. May we receive everything we ever wanted, starting with what we deserve. So the energy's kind of partially here already. We're going to go until, okay, so it's secure in terms of the ascending energy. Let's see if it's a fully secure reading. Because I was told to go until we have the Hermit and the Empress. And I got to go a little fast because this seems to be deeper in the reading. There's like 8 or 9 passes here before we get to the end. And I was given a time to put this podcast out. So if you're over on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, what have you, great. If you're over on YouTube, great. Just remember there's a way to fast forward or slow down. The podcast, and that's going to be in the audio or the video settings, not the app or the site settings, okay? And then again, there'll either be a link to the summary towards the bottom of the description box or the about section or the show notes. Okay, so we're going towards the moon right now. We're in this hermit energy, and it's clarified by the Eight of Cups, Queen of Swords. So there's some discernment here because we probably need to make a withdrawal. We need to withdraw energetically because there is, again, some discernment. It's like a double whammy here with the hermit. The hermit is about going within, using soul's wisdom, or a wise counsel, or some type of wise teacher, wise teaching. And you know, the hermit and the moon card, La Luna Ermitaña, they go together because it's the Virgo Pisces energy. So right now that's that axis point, and it's interesting that we're starting because we're at the end of the ingressional cycle for Virgo. Virgo season's about to wrap up. There's a lot of things in Virgo. Venus is entered there, but the sun and the moon are there. In a day or two, it'll be the new moon in Virgo, and then we enter into Libra season. For the tropical charts, I'm aware that the Vedic sidereal is a bit different. Because the thing about this moon card is it's coming out with the Four of Wands and the Queen of Wands, which technically the Queen of Wands and the moon card tell me that there's some type of hidden agenda, ulterior motive. And even if that's not the case, there's an energy here of some kind of practitioner. You know, witchcraft doesn't always mean abracadabra, hocus pocus. It could mean that, you know, woman of wise wisdom, some type of craft work, whether it's statecraft, witchcraft, tradecraft, warcraft. It's gone into manifesting an idea through subtle means, through wise means. So that typically comes with an orchestration machination. There also could be some type of just living out of a platform, a pulpit, because there could be a mature way to get into that energy. Eight of Cups, there's moving from something into something. So we might have had a lot of things in the fire, and we're kind of harmonizing everything to make sure that we're living out of our creativity. The Queen of Wands needs affection, adoration, appreciation, acknowledgement, attention, even. With the Four of Wands, it's a pulpit, a platform, or throne of some kind. So we can be building a foundation for ourselves. The Queen of Wands lives out of something. It's just the Queen of Wands is a cowgirl or a witch or a woman of high vibrational. It's the high vibrational woman in the deck outside of the Empress. It's just concerning with this moon card here because it can mean that something's latent, it's becoming manifest, and it's not something that we'll be unaware of with this hermit. It will not hit us by surprise. So we have the Five of Cups and the Ten of Cups clarifying the Fool card here. So a bubble burst, or we had to let something go, we had to anchor in, manifest some type of, we had to integrate a bubble bursting, something kind of, we have to accept defeat in some kind of way, but it's a sacrifice so that we can get to what was intended, Ten of Cups. And it is a reset, a refresh. And again, it's new teachings, new teachers, or new wisdom, because we're really connected to Great Spirit here. And I call Great Spirit Alibaba. You know, urban slang would be Sky Daddy. If you're on the video, this is the Temple Kitty, Priestess Chandi. Maybe I'm working. I don't know if you can hear her on the mic. We got pretty good sound right now. So moving into this little stanza, when you have the Fool card and the Death card, it means it's a chapter ending. We're integrating in some kind of lesson, and there's a culmination here with the Ten of Cups. We fulfilled the cycle in terms of it's starting to bear fruit, it's starting to reap So if we sowed, we're reaping now, we're harvesting. If we made investments, they're paying off now, and we're beginning to go into some type of material blessing that can be built. The groundwork has been laid, we've refined and polished something enough or adequately. We now have the Queen and Nine of Cups clarifying the Chariot card, Il Carro, the Chariot. With the Queen of Cups talks about a Cancer moon. To a lesser degree, that could be an Aries rising. Queen of Cups, Nine of Cups means needing contentment. And it came out after the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is fulfillment, the Nine of Cups is contentment. On the opposite side, what's being mirrored to this Queen of Cups is the Five of Pentacles. So coming out after, because we're also needing to make changes here with the Queen of Cups and the Five of Cups. Since it's mirroring this Five of Pentacles, what that tells me is that this period point blank, we have had to take a L, take a loss, integrate in some type of decline or destabilization or debilitation or degradation. Something fell down to the ground. Now, it could be ideology. Five of Pentacles is some stinking thinking. Ideology, essentially. We had to make a change or we were going to risk a loss. We were compelled. The universe might have imposed some type of change here. Because we're going from the Chariot over to the Lover. So we need to enter into maybe a community, a collective. It could also be moving into this exalted, ascended, chosen, elevated, elite kind of status or nature or community. It can also just be spiritual. Because when we have the Nine of Wands and the Lover's card, it talks about just the angels, some type of ministering angel, protective angel. We'll be using the Cosmic Covenant Tarot to clarify the pairings here. So we have the pair of nines, Nine of Cups, chosen, wish granted, Nine of Wands, protected, yet weary. Cuando casi de nuevo here. Okay. The message from the other side is Nine of Swords as well. Yeah, so there was, I'll be honest, I'm catching some stank energy. There was some kind of intention from the other side, whoever, whatever, however, whenever this other side was or is, or you know, la-di-da and yada-yada. There's something here, some intenciones, some intention from another entity, energy, ideology that tried to strip us, bind us in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. It was some type of coven. So, you know, a little clique, coven, cabal, a little rukura, kaka, little kiki with our name on their tongue. It didn't necessarily need to be abracadabra, hocus pocus, chanting in front of candles. It could have just been around a water cooler. Proverbial, literal, figurative, whatever, what have you, so on and so forth. The situation is turned. A lot of backfire here. We'll know more about the backfires in a moment, but we're chosen and we're living in our contented space. And what that means is that we've weathered storms that we didn't even really know about. And when Venus is moving into Virgo, right now it's going to be first house energy for the collective, no individual specific chart, but also the sun's going to be moving through Libra in a few days. And then that means that Venus will be in the 12th house, combust actually, which means that we were receiving jealousy because of our beauty, because of our refinement, because of our sense of culture. And culture really means to cultivate out of the environment, surrounding location, whether it's a person, place, or thing, whether it's a time, space, location. How we made the best of whatever we had, however we were making that lemonade with the lemons that we were given, caused a few eyes to look at us askance. Could have been evil eye, could have been, murker some kind of sideways sneaky, not completely trifling and treacherous or treasonous, but nearly. And the thing about us is, I know myself. You throw me some lemons, I'm gonna make me some Moroccan lemonade. I'm gonna have me some rosemary or some rose water. Okay, I'm gonna make it work. So somebody did not like that. And this person's not showing themselves. This energy, let's say, is not showing itself. But that's what I'm getting. Now, this cycle is completing. So it will reveal itself quite shortly. And the thing about the 12th house, where the Venus will be moving through for this little part of the cycle, the 12th house is behind your back. It's over your head. It's out of your hands kind of energy. The ancestors going to need to get involved. That's how that works. And I'm code switching here. I keep going towards Spanish, so that's Brujeria Santeria, and I keep going towards, some ratchet language, which is fine with me, but it means there's fighting, and it's not necessarily clean fighting. Because now we have the information about this clique, coven, cabal. Firstly, for us, we have the Knight of Cups, Nine of Swords, clarifying the Tower. Backfire is Nine of Swords, backfire is Tower. Now, before we had the Chariot, and it was telling me that we were weathering the storm. We were sustaining attacks, and it was making us better. We were growing through whatever we had to go through, and we were coming out on the up and up. But what this is there's an energy here trying to swap places with us. They're trying to leave little breadcrumbs that lead us towards the dark. They're trying to gatekeep us in some kind of way, just enough to avoid detection or to start to gain an advantage where we can stumble, where we can fall. And there's Nine of Swords being hunted, being attacked. Otherwise, the only other energy there is, well, not with this Tower, because that's revelation energy. So it could be backfire. It could be, we're sustaining attacks. Now, the Knight of Cups is an order of the cherubim. That's high level elite protection from the divine. But also here, it can mean that somebody here has their rising or their Mars in a water sign. And there will be somebody watching us here, watching or listening to the cast. Also, there's the energy here of Mars and Gemini, which on a abstract version, if we're part of a group that's acting against us, it's going to implode. There's also somebody here with their, so I said Mars and Gemini, Mars in the third house, where there's also Jupiter and Capricorn, Jupiter in the 10th house here with the Two of Pentacles and the Devil. We also, for Mars and Gemini, that's the Tower and the Nine of Swords. I'm getting here that something is trying to swap heads, switch places. It's Niguan Hapa, Niguan work. Okay, and you see now I'm going towards some African pidgin, Afro-Pidgin language, so, or Creole. So that means that there is one person here doing something intentional, and it's giving me very much clique, coven, cabal, and it's coming out of either work or a friends group. It's not family. I'm hearing that Solange song, Be Wary of the Ways of the World. Solange Knowles. I love me some Solange. Okay, but now we have Il Vagetto, and I heard Mercurio as well. That's very much Etruscan. So we went from the Romance languages like Spanish, which tells me Brujeria, Santeria, to Creole, and now we're speaking Etruscan. So we went from Brujeria, Santeria to Voodoo, Ifa, Palero, Condumle to Striggeria, Benederia. It might be telling us the different people in the group because I did see 3 people, but also the clarifier gave me the 3 of Cups, so I have to kind of put that aside until confirmation. But it could be, you know, because some classic 3 of Cups has a brunette, a blonde, a redhead. So it could mean, you know, it doesn't always mean physically their features. It could mean that there's 3 different pieces or 3 different parts coming together to create one mounted opposition. We have the 10 of Swords, 6 of Swords, clarifying the Magician. 6 of Swords and the Magician, that's Mercury and Aquarius, but also it means that we've been granted clearance. We kind of canceled 10 of Swords, broken a hex, lifted a spell, lifted a curse, broke a spell, broke a hex, lifted a curse. And we also could have gotten some kind of revelation, elevation from this, whatever, what have you, from this Rukukurakaka is what I call it. They might have tried to do us dirty and we figured it out, maybe not who, maybe not what, but we went through the experience, and since we have love in our heart, a smile on our face, a pep in our step, that test became a testimony, that mess became a message. We grew through whatever we had to go through, while the other energy, the other side, is ruminating, oscillating, vacillating in hate, marinating in venom. I'm hearing that proverb, you know, if you want to be hateful, angry, jealous, I'm paraphrasing here, dig 2 graves, one for your enemy and one for yourself. Because it's saying that we received grace here, 6 of Swords. We went right through this wall of attack, whether we were backstabbed, betrayed. It's a possibility with the 10 of Swords. It could also be that now we have enlightenment, enumeration that came through a difficult or prickly cycle. 10 of Swords is also an ordeal. It could also mean that there is a breakthrough after a breakdown. Because it's been a long time on this other side of something trying to mount a defense or maintain their position. And that's the thing. You know, if we come on the field, little old us, new to the scene, and something that's been there for a long time, you know what, girl? Something that's been there for a long time feels threatened when we're new and they're senior, they have tenure. That's something else. It's not something we can help them with. You hear me? So if somebody's threatened by our existence, that's just not our fault, not our problem. There's things going on over our head, behind our back, out of our hands. Venus in the 12th house. We're going on to a journey right now where we're completing and where we're finishing and what we're calling, reclaiming, returning to what was once was, and I'm saying that to what was once was intended for us. So we're softening, we're refining, we're repelling, we're rejecting, we're reaffirming. And it's aligning our path to whatever is divinely ordained. And it's giving us clearance. It's giving us grace here, 6 of Swords. In this other side, they may have Mars in the 5th house, Mars in Leo, for a long time. If it is a them, for a long time, this mirroring energy or opposing energy has had, for a long time, Knight of Pentacles has been trying to mount some type of defense, hold some type of ground, 7. And if it's in the negative, I'm going to be honest, that tells me that they're anxious. It feels like it's threatened. Okay, so whenever the Justice and the Ruota, La Fortuna, whenever the Wheel of Fortune and the Justice cards come out together, it means a lottery. So partly I now know that we went through this cycle because we were delayed in a timeline. Other energies, entities, ideologies, other people with a sacred office, with a spiritual mission here upon the earth had registered with the divine a complaint, and they tried to block us. They tried to act against whatever path we were on. And that's still hidden, 7 of Swords. We're not going to know all of that. 7 of Swords and 3 of Swords is clarifying this Wheel of Fortune. We're not going to know all of that. But whatever tried to bind, whatever tried to block, whatever tried to steal and manipulate, 3 of Swords, 7 of Swords is being reversed. The 2 of Pentacles already came out, and now we're dealing with the Wheel card. That means turning the tables, reversal. There's a fatwa here. Excuse me if I just hit the mic. I apologize. I'm not going to be editing anything. But with the kitty here, it's a little difficult to have that cloak on. It's just super cold here in this temple space. So I feel that there's been some divination on us, and there is a practitioner of some kind. So in that little click coven cabal, and this could be universal. This could just be humanity, or it could be some of us in a situationship, dealing with the ladies at the water cooler, dealing with the little haters. I don't know. It's kind of universal. This is a universal cycle. It's not according to any one rising sign. We're going through a situation where there's been steady divination, fortune telling on us. Page of Pentacles is a sign. And they are making moves. They will return to the scene of the crime to do another something. What that is, I don't know yet. We could be dealing with an Aries rising. We could be dealing with somebody with their Mars in Aries or the first house. Yeah, there's a heavy duty attempt to bind us here, to wrangle us down with rules, restrictions, regulations. The Empress has just come out. So the 8 of Swords and the 7 of Cups are clarifying the Hangman here. The 8 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles are clarifying the Empress here. We have a pair of 8s, which means rules, regulations, restrictions, the 8 of Swords in and of itself, swiftness, progression with the 8 of Wands. A pair of 8s means manipulation, ruminating, oscillating, vacillating, hate, marinating in venom on some cases. It can also mean spell work or time and indulgences. We are still a little bit outside of the cycle in terms of we don't know what's going on and what we're dealing with. We don't know the who, the what, the when, the where, the why. We've just made it through a couple few things. We're detached in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. Yeah. We're needing to detach, and we have actually. There's another energy here that either wants to come closer or that wants to confuse us with a little bit of love. They want to come in and soothe or sweeten the situation because they couldn't topple us down on their own. There's going to be aspects of this cycle that we'll never know about because it's Venus moving through the 12th house. Remember, the 12th house, it deals with the afterlife or preparing for the afterlife. So the ancestors can help us out. But the 12th house literally means behind your back, over your head, out of your hands. It's institutions. So jails, rehabs, schools, churches, or things where external energies, whether they're institutions or cycles, karma, can intervene without being requested. It's a little bit of involuntary intervention imposed upon us. And we have the Two of Pentacles, which means intercession, which also suggests that somebody or something might be trying to attend to the situation. They may be trying to undo what they did. Sometimes people will do spell work, and spell work doesn't always mean candles, abracadabra. They could have some type of strategy, agenda, tactic, and then midway through their tirade, their tantrum, their attack, they have a change of heart and they try to reverse it. Okay, that's fine. Let's hope whomever you were imposing upon didn't have divine protection, that wasn't on a sacred mission, didn't have a chosen destiny. And since we're coming out with this, we've had the Queen of Cups come out twice on our side. I venture to guess, I would think that we're on a sacred mission. We do have a chosen destiny here. Because I wanted to call this Venus card, this Empress, I wanted to call that the Queen of Cups. And the Empress with the Hangman means a woman of great spiritual power. Now, woman is not always about gender. It's the nurturing and creative part of ourselves. It's the place where we have conception, gestation, where we're nurturing and we're creating something that's not ready to come out under inception implementation. It's not ready to come out in terms of action. It's an internal thing, it's an internal mechanism. We're going to go one more stanza, one more round. We have the Five of Swords, King of Swords, clarifying the judgment. So this tells me that the universe itself was using any type of inimical energy projected towards us, whether it was adversarial, oppositional. It used that energy to elevate us. King of Swords, Five of Swords, that's wanting to attack or to hold the field down in some type of standard or boundary. It's wanting to not let the other side advance. And so let me give you an example. Sometimes chosen children, chosen ones, don't discover a part of themselves, don't discover a gift until it's somebody else tries to steal it or attack it. So we may not have known who we were or what we were capable of until we were tried and tested. And that's what I'm getting here. That's what I'm sensing here. Let's go ahead and close with the astro. There's one thing I need to check as well from the Vita Sibila. Okay. So yes, there was an energy in our environment surrounding location that was threatened by us, but we weren't doing anything other than having a little bit of self-interest. We were not easy to discern or interact with because whatever was coming towards us was acting out of I don't want to say a lower energy, but they were not using curiosity, investigation, examination. Anytime they would come towards us and it would not work out well for them, they would take that as a personal injury instead of trying to connect more. So heal, investigate, Chiron and Scorpio. Heal, investigate. Chiron is an energy that combines Saturn and Uranus. Yep, and then we have Uranus here. Okay, grant me just a moment. Yeah, because we're immersed in exploring ourselves. So we're self-possessed and it's threatening to somebody here because we're not performative. There's a covering on our life and the divine has spoken, given orders to this opposing energy to leave us untouched. And so suddenly something wants to turn it around. So there's change coming. And we're not going to know what that is, how that is, what that looks like, because it's just going to be a revelation of who we are, what we're capable of, or it's going to seem like a blessing. Meanwhile, it's actually something that's inherent in us from birth. It was a gift from the divine that was attacked for a long period of time, a couple years, a couple decades, a couple lifetimes. We're entering into the root of who we are, what we're about. So there's going to be something revealed to us about our authentic self, our true nature, when really it's been there all the time, this whole time, apparent to others. Now we're getting to the pinnacle, the height of our energy, entity, ideology, our own being, our authentic self, our genuine self, our authentic self. It's shining through, pulling through, coming through, finally. So it's a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve. Thank you for allowing us to do so. Remember to smash that like button and we'll see you in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen, sayonara, das vidanya, arrivederci, ciao, buonasera, au revoir.